not to trash it, not to throw all the kind of chemicals and stuff in it.
By keeping the swamp clean, keeping the water clean, I think it will survive.
It's going to be okay because the children of the Bahamas is going to protect it.
You're watching the ZNS Network, the People's Station.
Coming up in the news, chairman of the PLP firing back tonight, pointing to who he believes is responsible for Grand Bahama's economic woes and what the government is doing to fix it. Also, Health and Wellness Minister delivering a progress update on the state-of-the-art hospital. And Bahamas Educators Managerial Union meeting with employees of the Ministry of Education to address educators' concerns, including promotions. The Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition, starts now.
This is the Bahamas Tonight, Northern Edition.
Good evening and welcome to the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition. I'm Ramiko Knowles. Thank you so much for tuning in. Topping news tonight, Chairman of the Progressive Liberal Party, Fred Mitchell, is taking the Grand Bahama Port Authority to task over its expression of disappointment in government's recent decision to pursue legal action to recoup expenses for government administration of the city of Freeport under the Hawksbill Creek Agreement. Mitchell also criticizes the opposition over what he says is an attempt to shift blame for the state of Grand Bahama. Raven Davis has tonight's top story.
The ongoing public feud between the Grand Bahama Port Authority and the Bahamas government intensifying as PLP Chairman Fred Mitchell reveals government's plans to arbitrate expenses linked to services and infrastructure in Freeport in court by the port, while the Grand Bahama Port Authority through a press release expressed disappointment on this move, noting that their doors have always been open and remain open for constructive dialogue. But Mitchell says the government's next step should come as no surprise.
We are going to arbitrate the reimbursement of expenses for services advanced by the government, which the two sides previously agreed would be for the port's account. Their press release says that they have an open door and that what the government has done has weakened investor confidence. They must be joking.
Just last week, opposition leader Michael Pintard criticized the government for what he says is not a good job with the stakeholder consultation, while adding that the former F&M administration, which he was a part of, could have also done a better job.
On the sidelines, just behind the gown tail of the port, is the leader of the opposition and his colleagues who are trying to have their cake and eat it too. They acknowledge that something is wrong with Freeport governance, but insist that the PLP government enters once more into a chat shop on Freeport and its future.
But Mitchell strongly contends that the Free National Movement is engaged in feeble attempts to deflect blame for the island's ailing economy. Instead, he asserts that both the Grand Bahama Port Authority and the F&M share responsibility for Grand Bahama's current state.
This is the same leader of the opposition who sat in the cabinet a few minutes and allowed the Grand Bahama Port Authority to dump the airport on us, dump the dead hotel on us, and who allowed pre-clearance in Freeport to be canceled. This suggests, therefore, that nothing the PLP has done so far has caused lack of confidence in Freeport. It is the acts and omissions of the owners of the port and their collaborators in the Free National Movement that has us where we are today.
Highlighting a parallel with the nation's crime challenges, Mitchell emphasizes the long-standing need for intervention in the Port Authority situation, acknowledging the occasionally disheartening public discourse. He assures, however, that the Prime Minister has a robust plan of action in place aimed at not only addressing the issues within the Port Authority, but also rescuing the economy.
The Prime Minister has laid out a plan. Let's support it before we trash it. The public servants, and especially the Ministry of Finance, must make this work. Michael Pintard cannot have his cake and eat it too. Choose you, Mr. Pintard, this day, what you are, fish or fowl, fish or cut bait. And if you can't do either, get the hell out of the boat.
For the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition, I'm Raven Davis.
Now, Pintard responding to Mitchell's comments, noting that the economy of Grand Bahama was already challenged in 2021 election, and stands by his comments that the recent row between the government and the Grand Bahama Port Authority has not improved the prospect of developments on Grand Bahama.
It is unacceptable that the two governing bodies, that is the municipal government in the Grand Bahama Port Authority and central government, are engaged in the kind of discussions that they are involved in publicly, when they should have had meaningful discussions, not just with them, but with the licensees of the Grand Bahama Port Authority, with the industrials, with civil society, and of course the private sector led by the Chamber of Commerce.
Now, both the government and the Grand Bahama Port Authority have shared its optimism on the island of Grand Bahama, boasting of over $1.5 billion worth of projects on the table. In other news, it is a promise by the current administration to build a new state-of-the-art hospital on the island of Grand Bahama. Since its groundbreaking of the new hospital back in 2023, the Minister of Health and Wellness says strides are being made towards construction. Tonight, he is giving an update on the latest developments while highlighting some of the challenges thus far. Jolanda Thompson-Everest reports.
The Minister of Health and Wellness, Dr. Michael Darville, is pleased to report that the new state-of-the-art hospital is moving on schedule. He reveals that there were some changes made regarding the materials used for the project, and in the upcoming months, they have plans to bring on additional workers to assist with manpower shortage.
The project was first coated steel, and it was changed to reinforced concrete, which we felt was better. That required some additional drawings. We did run into a small problem at the site that when we started to excavate for the foundation, we found some soft spots. So those areas had to be looked at by our structural engineers. That's complete. But if you were able to go to the site now, you'll see that the footings for the structure is already in place. And very soon, with the grace of God, we'll begin to see our vertical construction after the foundation is laid.
Darville noting that he is satisfied with the progression of the project and announces plans to working closely with the structural engineers to ensure a smooth, successful build-out.
We are now in the final architectural renderings for the multi-story facility, which is phase 2. And once that's complete, I will inform the residents of Grand Bahama with that construction. And for us, that's very important because, as you can see, we have outgrown this facility. I want to commend our staff because I think they're doing a great job despite the challenges that they face. We have manpower shortages, which is global. And so our ministry is addressing it short-term, medium, and long-term.
The health minister encourages that very soon, teams will begin to move throughout the family islands, conducting preventative maintenance to ensure product longevity of all medical equipment.
For us to be able to provide services, we have clinical services, but we also have diagnostics. And diagnostics come with medical equipment that need to be maintained, need to be replaced, and need to be modified. And so with a biomedical engineering team, our job is to do preventative maintenance, as well as make recommendation of additional medical equipment essential to provide services.
For the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition, I'm Jolanda Thompson-Everest.
Now on to the education beat. The president and members of the Bahamas Educators Managerial Union paying a courtesy call to the Ministry of Education today to discuss issues and concerns among educators, among them promotions. The union is the primary industrial negotiator for administrators, principals, vice principals, senior persons, and education officers. Our Shane Stubbs was at the courtesy call and filed this report.
Mandate to meet face-to-face with its members, and it figures to be a busy weekend, according to President Stephen McPhee.
And just to also take opportunity to share with members updates, offer training and assistance best we can, where we can, and conduct the business of the union.
One of those updates McPhee spoke to is in regards to outstanding promotions, which has been an ongoing issue. However, McPhee says they are working closely with the employer to resolve that matter.
We have found that we're at a point now where there are a few outstanding, and we're hopeful. As a matter of fact, we have a meeting today with the director and team where we will be provided some updates on some of the matters we would have laid on the table.
Area Vice President Danica Martin underscoring why the lack of promotions has become strenuous on educators and administrators.
You know, we really need this this exercise from the public service to, really, get on stream so that we can actually fill the voids that are in our schools, so that our administrators who are in those schools will not be overworked the way that they are.
And while giving credit to education officials currently on the island, McPhee was happy to see the negotiation of having a deputy director named in Grand Bahama, a post last held by the late Sandra Edgecombe, and now held by Michelle Bowleg. And now with the new acting deputy director in place, McPhee looks forward to working with her.
Some of the concerns that we have, but more importantly, collaborating on areas of progress.
Our acting deputy director for education, Michelle Bowleg, says working with BEMU is just like any partnership, and she feels that this week's meeting could be the catalyst to resolving those ongoing issues.
We can only achieve that by working together. And so it's a pleasure having him and his team visit Grand Bahama. We have a dynamic team in Grand Bahama even before I came. And so I'm glad to just be added to my team.
The slate of meetings are expected to conclude on Sunday. For the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition, I'm Shane Stubbs.
Well, in the wake of a troubling stabbing incident involving a 13-year-old boy, Assistant Commissioner of Police Shanta Knowles takes charge, leading a determined police presence through the community. ACP Knowles calls for unified community action as she addresses the root issues affecting the nation's youth. Ajaquan has more in this report.
Assistant Commissioner of Police for the Northern Bahamas, Shanta Knowles, and her team of officers are making their presence felt throughout communities on Grand Bahama as the island's top cop addresses pressing issues facing the youth today. This coming just days after a 13-year-old boy was stabbed in the Pinders Point community. Well, we asked ACP Knowles if there is a gang problem within the school system. While she could not confirm if there is, she did, however, express that there are issues that need to be addressed immediately with our youth.
We see that they're finding it difficult to resolve their own conflicts, and we ask the public to partner with us. Partner with us in rearing your children. Rear your own children so that we don't have incidents like these.
Assistant Commissioner of Police and her team conducting several speed checks and roadblocks, engaging with motorists and residents. The ACP expressed concerns over the rising issues with young persons in the community and called for collective efforts to address these challenges.
The quicker we can get to reach our young people to show them the positive way of living among each other, then the better it will be for us.
When questioned about specific initiatives the police have in place to combat issues with young children, ACP Knowles highlighting a program established by the commissioner last year involving school resource officers.
We have resource officers in many of the schools in New Providence and the Family Island, and certainly here on Grand Bahama. And so the reason for them being in the school is so that we can have the presence, the police presence, not an intimidating factor, but to add to education.
The school resource officers are an integral part of the police force's strategy to build positive relationships with the younger generation, fostering a sense of trust and support within the community. ACP Knowles stresses the importance of preventative measures and early intervention to steer young individuals away from the path of violence and crime.
It is through their presence that we are able to detect some of the things that are happening with our young people. And so I believe that that is a positive program that has yielded positive results throughout the Commonwealth, and we ask people to buy into it.
In a direct message to parents, ACP Knowles urges them to be actively involved in their children's lives.
These are your children. They leave your homes. Search their bags and see what it is that they're taking to school other than books. You'd be surprised to know what we find.
For the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition, I'm Ajaquan.
In news from police over on Abaco, police on that northern island seized 2.24 kilograms of suspected cocaine on Thursday, January 18th, 2024. The dangerous drugs were discovered on a beach outside a local resort. Initial reports indicate that it was around 11:50 a.m. when officers from the Marsh Harbor Police Station, acting on intelligence, discovered and confiscated the drugs that weighed 2.24 kilograms with an estimated street value of $20,000. No arrests were made in connection with this discovery. Active investigations continue into this matter. Well, in a bold stance on national issues, a former probation officer is fervently advocating for a zero-tolerance strategy to tackle the challenges facing the country. Tonight, he is emphatically calling for a return to traditional disciplinary methods, including the controversial implementation of capital and corporal punishment. According to him, these measures are essential for addressing the nation's woes. More details are in this report.
corporal punishment need to be reinstated in the schools. I don't care what the politicians have to say.
Those remarks coming from Bishop Reno Smith, the former probation officer, during a recent interview with ZNS News. Bishop Smith maintains that returning to traditional methods will be beneficial in preventing school kids from getting into trouble. In addressing the overall crime situation in the country, he advocates for a zero-tolerance approach. It is noteworthy to mention that the current murder rate stands at 14 as of January 17th and is on the verge of surpassing the record-setting 22 murders in March of 2022.
Capital punishment needs to be introduced. The cat-nine tail needs to be reintroduced. Hanging needs to be reintroduced. Stop joking.
Recounting the incident involving a young child hospitalized after ingesting marijuana gummies on the island of Bimini, he says law has to be enforced in those matters.
Come on, man. Come on. And the thing is, we have laws on the books that could deal with it. The mother, the father, the parent who endangered that 2-year-old can be brought up on charges. Deal with them.
Bishop Smith is urging all civic groups to actively engage in addressing the pressing issues facing the country.
And so I call upon lodges, civic organizations, the fraternities and what have you. In addition to the church, the lodges were there as that extended family to help raise us. The men in the lodge, we looked up to them, we revered them. You understand? Now we see it as a cult. It wasn't a cult when I was growing up. What made it a cult now? Huh? To be a member of the lodge, the only book you need is the Bible. Huh? It starts with the 133rd Psalm.
Additionally, Smith asserts that Bahamians cannot afford to remain passive spectators while the actions of others jeopardize the country that was built through the sacrifices of honorable individuals.
There's one Bahamian who don't want to leave this country to live in no other man's country. All right? We have people risking their lives not only on boats to come here, you know. We have people coming here on planes. One-way tickets. Some of them even buying two-way tickets to pretend as if they're leaving. They don't want to leave this. I must leave this. This is all I know.
When we come back, a camp dedicated to Christian development of young people returns after being devastated. That story, sports, and more when the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition, continues.
Come on down and see what Dolly Madison has in store for you. Renovate and rejuvenate at Dolly Madison.
It's all about Super Bowl 58. Watch the 2024 NFL playoffs at the Pub Club Beach Bar and Grill. Multiple TV screens to catch every action. Enjoy drinks, specials, great food, and super giveaways. Fun kicks off at 12 p.m. Sunday, February 11th. See you at the Pub Club.
Doctors Hospital cordially invite all patients to meet and greet Dr. and Mrs. Cavallo on Saturday, January 20th, between the hours of 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. at the Cavallo Medical Center in Hannah Hill, 8 Mile Rock.
Health officials announced early on that the curve of the fourth wave has been flat.
Stand by, talent. 2 and cue.
We have a dynamic team of diverse, enthusiastic journalists committed to uncovering the truth and delivering it with zeal and integrity.
Interpol confirms that the victim's body was found by an individual who was involved in the search.
We tell the heartwarming tales of resilience and success, from local politics to cultural events. We have it covered. We have Aja coming live from Bimini tonight for our top story. We are your trusted source in the North. We are ZNS Northern Edition.
The ZNS Network and the Ministry of Youth, Sports and Culture presents the Anthony Huck Williams 2024 Junior Junkanoo Parade. live from Pioneers Way on January 27th, beginning at 4:30 p.m. on the ZNS Network.
Your #1 news team covering the North. The Bahamas Tonight, Northern Edition.
Welcome back. The Governor General, Her Excellency, the Most Honorable Cynthia Pratt, ending her 4th day to the island with a joyful church service at St. Matthew's Baptist Church, Pelican Point. The head of state gathering support from the Minister for Grand Bahama, senators, and of the island's administrators, and those that traveled across the city to bid her farewell on the tour. Jolanda Thompson-Everest reports.
A special service taking place at St. Matthew's Baptist Church, where the Governor General, Her Excellency Cynthia A. Pratt, worshiping amongst friends and residents of East Grand Bahama. Praise and worship was on full display.
Oh, Lord, if that is love.
The Governor General seen in a beautiful, elegant white and purple floral gown, seated around government officials and residents from both Freeport and West End, all tuning in to the notable message.
For God so loved that he gave his only begotten Son, John 3:16, while we were yet sinners. Christ died for us, verse 8. And verse 10 says that Christ died for us while we were his enemies. Yeah.
Her Excellency did not bring remarks to the congregation, but was presented with a bouquet of flowers for a dedication to the nation. The Governor General did, however, visit an East End native, Odetta Cooper, at her newly built home that was completely destroyed by Hurricane Dorian. The Minister for Grand Bahama, Ginger Moxie, expressing excitement on not only the visit, but Cooper's significant return to her home since fleeing in 2019. The resident herself filled with emotion and gratitude.
She just got the keys for the home, and it's been such an emotional experience. But to have the Governor General here with her to share with that has been, a blessing.
I thank God, and I thank everyone who played a part in it.
The Governor General ended her tour with a visit to the Hurricane Dorian Memorial Site, where Chief Counselor for East Grand Bahama, Marcus Cooper, gave her a touching review of those that lost their lives. For the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition, I'm Jolanda Thompson-Everest.
Well, after weathering the devastating impact of Hurricane Dorian nearly 5 years ago, Camp Abaco, the campground situated on a point accessible from downtown Marsh Harbor, is back. The campground has been a cherished destination for numerous groups of campers over the decades. After the destructive forces of Hurricane Dorian forced its closure, Camp Abaco has now made a resilient comeback. Our Shane Stubbs recently visited the site and filed this report.
It's been a long time coming, but Camp Abaco is officially back in operation. After suffering damages in the wake of Hurricane Dorian and having extensive repairs done, Camp Abaco is back and better than ever. The camp made its return in July of 2023, and General Superintendent for the Assemblies of God, Reverend Dr. Vaughn Cash, is thankful to the NGOs for their assistance. And he says the camp is in an even better place as far as operations go.
We have solarized the camp. It's not 100% yet, but I think it's a little beyond 50% solarized. So that's a major improvement, because prior to that, we had to run generators. The structural integrity of some of these buildings has also been improved with the works that have been done.
The reopening of the campgrounds has been a great help to the Many Hands organization, who does a lot of work in the Abaco community.
They live here at the site, so when they have groups come over to do ministry, they live here at the camp.
The groups that attend camp regularly include juniors, intermediates, and teens. As the first superintendent for Assemblies of God, Reverend Gary Curry, voices the camp has come a long way since its very beginnings.
We had very little permanent buildings. We started with wooden buildings along the seashore and whatever. Now the camp has grown well, and it's really impressive. I'm impressed with what they've done here. It's a beautiful place.
The Christian-based camp has been a staple in Marsh Harbor since 1958, and it's been a beacon of light for the Assemblies of God, drawing young people from around the country. Phyllis and Robert Cornier founded the camp as missionaries and are very excited to see the camp return and carry out the mission started many years ago.
We got young people now that were in the camp, came to camp. Some are now pastoring churches. Others are working in churches. And it's good to see, you know.
It's missionaries. That's what our purpose and call was.
Now the General Superintendent says he looks forward to the continued growth of attendance at the camp. For the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition, I'm Shane Stubbs.
Well, primary school basketball playoffs got underway at the gym yesterday. Jay Philippe has that and more in sports.
Good evening, I'm Jay Philippe, and welcome to sports. We have a whole lot of sports for you, including baseball. But let's begin with local basketball. Scores from the Grand Bahama Basketball Association Night League games played last night. In Game 1, Reach Out Cinch defeated Cornet Shipping 64-59. Devontae Jennings led all scorers with 23 points in the win. DeJean Wildgoose had 22 points in the loss. Now in Game 2, ODS Fisheries got the win against 8 Mile Rock Legends 46-41. Christopher Turnquest was the high point man with 17 points in the win. Donato Adley scored 10 in the loss. Still in hoops, primary school basketball playoff scores from yesterday as well. Maurice Moore took down Freeport Gospel 15-11 to advance to the next round. In Game 2, Martintown Primary dominated Mary Star 19-6, and Bartlett Hill defeated Sunland 13-9 to move on to the next round. Switching gears now in sports, Grand Bahama Little League Baseball is gearing up for the start of the 2024 baseball season.
The season is about to start February 3rd.
We're out here on Saturday mornings from 10 to 12. They can come by. Sometimes we're through the week, but Saturday mornings 10 to 12 is the key time. You come out here, we get you registered and on a team within a few minutes.
We have a lot of new sponsors on board this year, so that actually made me, that's enough to make you really feel good about baseball.
All the kids in the league who fall in that 10, 11-year-old age bracket, they come out, they work out, and they've been, putting in the time, and I'm sure coaches will make good decisions because nobody wants to lose.
And finally in sports, the Grand Bahama Primary School and Secondary School Cecil Thompson Sandra Edgecombe Sports Schools of Champions award ceremony was held at Christ the King Hall. Winning the secondary school division in the senior division was St. George's High Jaguars, and in the junior school category was Tabernacle Baptist Academy Falcons. Now in the primary school division, Walter Parker won the big school age group. Winning the middle school division was Bishop Michael Eldon School Warriors, and winning the small school division was West End Primary. Ladies and gents, that is a quick check on sports. I'm Jay Philippe. As always, be blessed.
If you're tired of looking the same, yeah, you ain't got to complain, no. You know where to go and you know what to do. You can find it here. We got the best in men's world. Come on, let our friendly style help you. Hey, come on and shop. See what this crying man's got. Yeah, we got it all for you.
Ocean View Retirement Village, retirement at its best, is 20 years young. Professional, compassionate, caring, respectful, purposeful. Describe the experience in our safe, loving environment. the comforts of home with services of a luxury hotel. Our clients live with dignity and grace. Qualified medical personnel on call. Programs include adult daycare, independent and assisted living, therapeutic, convalescent, respite, rehabilitative and hospice care, Alzheimer's care, and health tourism. Mrs. Agatha Thompson and Mrs. Destiny Thompson-Pinder are the mother-daughter umbrella assuring each client a uniquely positive experience. Come luxuriate in these golden years where we celebrate them. Contact us 242-373-4382 or 441-3081. Ocean View Retirement Village. Retirement at its best is 20 years young.
8:10 a.m. The Light. Coffee and conversation with me, Gigi. Waking you up each
The aim is to inspire you. The aim is to encourage you. It's a joy to come here each and every morning. I don't consider this work at all. I haven't worked a day in my life. That's how much I enjoy it.
Your #1 news team covering the North. The Bahamas Tonight, Northern Edition.
Mary Lang, you are our Facebook friend of the day, turning 91 years young. We also want to wish you a special happy birthday to Kaya Gibson. Let Sonia know that the entire ZNS News team will be over tonight for a piece of cake. Only Sheena coming, but that's it. But that's going to do it for us here in the North. On behalf of the entire ZNS News team, I'm Ramiko Knowles. Thank you guys so much for watching. Be sure to stay tuned. The Bahamas Tonight continues. Have a great weekend.
Coming up in the Bahamas Tonight, the National Report, PM makes Haiti appeal in Uganda. RCII's first quarter groundbreaking. The opposition mourns a dissident 8. And in sports, track action returns. The Bahamas Tonight, the National Report, starts now.
ZNS News is brought to you by the new BTC. Fiber is here. Faster, stronger, more reliable. Together, we are unstoppable. Switch today.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Lakush Lopinder, and this is the Bahamas Tonight, the National Report. Thanks for tuning in. Prime Minister the Honorable Philip Davis unrelenting in his bid for more to be done to not only stem the tide of climate change, but to assist violence-riddled Haiti at all cost. This time, though, he has taken that message nearly 12,000 kilometers from home to an audience in Uganda, attending the intervention at the 19th summit of the Non-Aligned Movement. Our Carla Palmer picks up the story from here.
Prime Minister the Honorable Philip Davis remains steadfast on his mission to enlighten the global community about the negative impacts of climate change on vulnerable countries like the Bahamas and the urgent need to take the necessary steps to mitigate the process. Simultaneously, the Prime Minister, in seeking climate reparations from developed countries regarded responsible for the majority of the global warming taking place through dangerous carbon emissions, used the summit in Uganda to garner support towards the effort. He recommitted the Bahamas to active participation in South cooperation, recognizing it as a powerful catalyst for sustainable development, climate justice, progress, and peace, saying climate reparations is a critical component of our right to development. Prime Minister Davis also insists that the negative impacts of climate change is beyond urgent. As one of the 10 most vulnerable countries to these impacts, he said the Bahamas cannot define or chart a future without doing all we can to ensure our survival, adding that reduction in carbon emissions and support for countries like the Bahamas be made more resilient, saying the financial settlements which have been promised remain long overdue. On another matter, the Prime Minister highlighted the plight of Haiti and the ongoing political instability of that island nation that has brought more suffering to the Haitian people, including killings, rapes, kidnappings, wanton acts of violence, robberies, and looting. The gangs currently control large parts of Port-au-Prince and other areas of the country. Prime Minister Davis said CARICOM remains committed to helping the Haitian people find a Haitian solution, led by the people of Haiti, in the face of humanitarian and other disasters. The Prime Minister concluded that offers of moral, political, financial, and security support for Haiti, in keeping with the non-military, multinational security support mission, are welcomed. And in the interest of progress and the development of each CARICOM Island member state, he called for solidarity and a willingness to work together. For the Bahamas Tonight, I'm Carla Palmer.
Meantime, pushing for more international financial cooperation for small island developing states like the Bahamas that endures the wrath of climate change is what Commonwealth Secretary General, the Right Honourable Patricia Scotland, is doing at this week's Non-Aligned Movement Heads of State and Government Summit in Uganda. Secretary General Scotland is expected to inform leaders about the Commonwealth Climate Finance Access Hub, which has mobilized $322 million in climate finance for 17 vulnerable countries, with an additional $500 million in the pipeline.
The old rubric of saying that GDP is the final arbiter as to whether you should get loans, whether you should get overseas development aid, that cannot be the only criterion anymore, because there is a level of vulnerability that we are now subject to, particularly small island developing states, because of their size, because of their population, which is disproportionately impacted by these exogenous shocks, none of which have been committed or contributed to in any significant way by the countries themselves.
Now, while praising funds pledged at the recent Commonwealth Heads of Government meeting in Rwanda and last year's COP28 conference in United Arab Emirates to combat climate change, she backs the view that the world now needs to put words into action.
When the Hurricane Dorian hit Grand Bahama and hit Abaco and took everything people loved and had built up and threw it into the sea, it didn't throw the debt with it. It left the debt behind. And when you have to build back better, you end up having to spend more money. Your bridges have to be higher. Your houses have to be more resilient. All of that costs money. And yet, many of our countries, like the Bahamas, will not get assistance or any form of debt relief or reduced rate in terms of those loans. And so if you look at the debt burden, it is scary.
Well, back here at home, Reverend Dr. Philip Ramming, no stranger to many. He's the man behind the country's Pledge of Allegiance, which admonishes one people united in love and service. The Foxillian laments, though, that some Bahamians have seemingly abandoned the high ideal of which he wrote, as evidenced by the country's increasing murder rate. He shared his thoughts on what has changed since independence.
It seems to me that we have changed Christ for cash. And once you have cash, you can boast about Christ. But if you do not have any cash, you can't talk about Christ, because if there is a Christ who has this ultimate power, why is he not helping you? And so we move ourselves away to find that which would make us look big here on earth. And it's difficult because human nature is just this way. The devil is strong among us, and we have to be able to be God-centered and Christ-centered to move forward.
Dr. Ramming, an author and former president of the Bahamas Christian Council, reiterated the hope and prayers offered by religious leaders at Monday's National Day of Prayer.
We get close to God and not stray, because we're getting involved now with international politics and international neighbors and so forth, and their culture and our culture and their number and our number. We are few. And I think someone said the other day that the majority of the young people in the Bahamas are not Bahamians. And that says, what? What's going to happen to us? What's happening to us? See? And let's be grabbed toward Christ and not cash. We're going to lose it.
In related news this evening, Christian Council President Bishop Delton Fernandez calling on the powers that be to enforce the laws of the land as it relates to illegal immigration. His comments follow the recent warning from Zion Baptist Senior Pastor Reverend T.G. Morrison that irregular and illegal migration need to be urgently addressed before something cataclysmic happens. Defense Force Commodore Dr. Raymond King last year indicated that the Bahamas experienced surging numbers of Haitians, Cubans, Jamaicans, Dominicans, Chinese, and Ecuadorians coming to our shores. Now, while the Northern Bahamas recorded mixed nationality migration to the U.S., he also noted there was a larger percentage of women and children in the migration number last year. Bishop Fernandez believes Pastor Morrison's concerns should not be ignored.
I think he'll be a good person to sit on that committee. I think we do not have someone from the church community sitting on that position. And as always, our council position is that we believe that the laws of the land should be enforced.
Well, Stewart Cove's Blue Adventures, the diving company behind Monday's shark expedition that ended with a 10-year-old Maryland boy being attacked, has launched an internal investigation into the incident at a Paradise Island resort. The child, initially treated here in the Bahamas, has since been airlifted to his hometown for continued care. Meantime, through a statement, the company has assured that its diving experience has been temporarily closed, and that's expected to remain the case as it reviews the findings. Online reports cite that Cove made it clear, though, that a dive instructor and a dive guide were in the water when the incident occurred and that they provided immediate medical attention. Monday's shark attack is said to be the first guest-related incident during the experience since the company began offering it in 2006. On a more upbeat note this evening, a once controversial project could soon be getting off the ground, and officials see it as an economic boom for the Bahamas. Cleopatra Murphy has the latest.
We'd like to start breaking ground probably in the first quarter if we can just, finalize all of these details. So hopefully we'll have a ceremony and we'll come over with some shovels and we can all dig in.
Royal Caribbean International is looking to get jump-started on its 17-acre, $100 million Paradise Island Beach Club early this year, with the aim of having the project completed by June or July 2025. RCI President and CEO Michael Bailey says the company is finalizing details with government before the project can begin. The Royal Beach Club, slated for the western tip of Paradise Island, has faced its share of controversy, having been the subject of a legal battle with Bahamian Toby Smith. Smith, who had plans for his own $2 million Paradise Island Lighthouse and Beach Club, claimed the deal would violate a Crown land lease he held under the Minnis administration. Atlantis President Audrey Oswell, an environmentalist, also initially objected to the project, citing concerns over environmental degradation. Bailey brushed the criticism off, focusing on what the project brings.
We have state-of-the-art technology that we're bringing to this project in terms of the environment, and I think what we're going to see is the proof is in the pudding. When we see this product and we see how incredibly attractive it is to the tourists and the quality of that product, I think hopefully everybody will be proud. The fact that it's a 49% owned Bahamian product, the fact that everybody working in the Beach Club experience is going to be Bahamian, the fact that all of our management is going to be Bahamian, the entertainment, everything is really connected and integrated really into the Bahamas culture.
Acting Prime Minister and Minister of Tourism, Investments and Aviation, the Honorable Chester Cooper, says Cabinet has yet to approve some minor details, but he's eager for the opportunity it will give Bahamians.
This will be a 49% Bahamian-owned operation. The businesses will be run by Bahamians, will be owned by Bahamians. There will be a magnificent new ferry service that's going to be owned and operated by Bahamians. This is going to be an empowering opportunity for tourism, for the overall economy of the Bahamas, and for Bahamian entrepreneurs.
With Royal Caribbean bringing more tourists to the Bahamas on its vessels, the latest the Icon of the Seas, Bailey says the beach club is one more attraction that will add to the touristic experience for visitors. For the Bahamas Tonight, I'm Cleopatra Murphy.
Well, vacations, vacations, engagements, vow renewals, weddings. Whatever the reason, visitors seem to equate the Bahamas with love, and that's all good with tourism execs who are in the throes of tallying the numbers for 2023, with every expectation that the country will shatter records and exceed the 9 million mark.
And the reality is that we are well renowned as a magnificent honeymoon destination. We work along with partners like Sandals Resort and many wedding planners who are in this space to ensure that when people come to the Bahamas, they have a magnificent event and they have a great time. And as a result of this, they tell others and they continue to come back again and again on their anniversaries.
The minister's comments come as he and his team seek out more investments for downtown, an area they're keen on revitalizing in hopes of pulling in an increasing number of tourists and, by extension, money. Well, still to come, COVID prevention boosts sales, plus our feature story of the night, R.M. Bailey Steel Show on Icon of the Seas. After our final weather look, you're watching the Bahamas Tonight, the National Report. There's more news in a moment.
This portion of the news is brought to you by Folk Call Smart Pass, the smart way to pay at the pump.
It has the looks, the style, the performance. Your new car is everything you always dreamed of. Now it's here. Commonwealth Bank was happy to help put you behind the wheel with a new car loan at a competitive rate and fast, friendly approval. It's a service that just comes naturally to us, just like how love of tradition comes naturally to you. Commonwealth Bank, leader in personal banking services.
Since they're on sale, Max bought things neither he nor his friend really needed. Hungry for deals? Come to KFC to satisfy your hunger before doing something crazy. Our new 6-piece value deal is packed with 6 pieces of your favorite fried chicken, 3 orders of crispy fries, and 3 buttery biscuits, all for just $20. You work hard for your money. Get the biggest bang for your taste buds. Satisfy your taste buds with KFC. It's finger-licking good.
ESE Distributors, the #1 wholesale beauty supplier in the Bahamas, specializing in hair products, accessories, and makeup. A variety of skin lightening products, Keratin, Natural Bright, Pawpaw, and personal toiletries, like soaps, creams, lotion, and oils. Hair products like Got2b, Red One, and everything in the Morphos line. And lots of hair. Afro Kinky, 3X Ghana, crochet hair. We deliver and ship to the Family Islands. ESE Distributors, located on Soldier Road opposite NCA.
How important collecting your money can be to the success of your business. Start your relationship with Fidelity today so that we can show you the many options available to you with our merchant services. From click and pay options online to merchant terminals and e-commerce options. We're here to help your business succeed. For more details, speak to one of our business development officers at 356-7764 in Nassau or 352-6676 in Freeport. Visit our website at fidelitygroup.com or visit any of our branches.
Fidelity, we're good for you.
Attending college abroad. While there are a number of tertiary institutions locally, there are hundreds more around the world, which could be ideal for your area of study. and budget. But before packing your bags for a 4-year journey tonight, our Lloyd Allen shares some of the prerequisites to get you on the right track for a successful experience.
There are dozens of colleges and university options globally for those seeking higher education. But regardless of your destination, there are a number of items you need to be aware of. According to experts, the top tips for college entry are grades, extracurricular activities, and community involvement, along with social media footprint, as well as your proven track record toward a particular area of interest. However, 30-year college entrance consultant Dr. Monique Hensey says as your pre-college application begins, grades come first, along with the creation of your academic portfolio.
So they'll look at the IB or look at results from advanced placements. And in addition, because GPAs differ from school to school and they're not standardized, many colleges, particularly those in the United States, require students to sit the standardized exams of SATs and ACTs.
Apart from grades, another big question for colleges:
who you are. And to determine who a student is, the universities look at extracurricular involvement to see where that student's interests, to see if there's been a pattern in the career in which they're selecting, and also to see what their commitment is to the community.
And another important aspect is your online footprint, which can be both an asset or repellent to tertiary institutes.
Just be careful what you put out there. You know, your digital footprint is accessible to the world. And so what you put out there, you can't take back. And what a lot of students don't realize is there are marketing agents that make up the college admissions team that actually sit and probe through social media.
So as you prepare for your college journey, do your research. This college series continues next week. And for the Bahamas Tonight, I'm Lloyd Allen.
Well, the demand for digital skills in high demand, and this is exactly what prompted today's Youth Digital Skills Training Program and panel discussion. The launch, a collaboration between the Commonwealth Secretariat and Simply Learn, affords scholarships to 200 young people across the country. Here's Youth Minister, the Honorable Mario Bolag, on the importance of the initiative.
In this digital age, where technology is advancing at an unprecedented pace, it is essential that our youth are equipped with the necessary skills and resources to thrive in a global digital economy. Digital skills have become the new currency of success, opening doors to the countless opportunities. When I attended the 10th Commonwealth Youth Ministers meeting in London back in September 2023, ministers from around the Commonwealth discussed delivering more for young people in the Commonwealth through the 4 E's: education, employment, environment, and engagement. The launch of the Digital Skills Training Program in the Bahamas today is a clear demonstration of the coming to reality of the decisions and commitments that was made.
Data analytics, information security technology, and artificial intelligence, some of the areas digital training is required. Assistant Director of Youth, Rashard Ritchie, on how young people can benefit.
The Digital Skills Program is a self-paced, fully online program offering over 55 courses such as big data, artificial intelligence, and more. What is great about this program is that it allows access to all young people on all islands. And I am pleased to say that currently we already have young persons in Grand Bahama, Abaco, Eleuthera, Long Island, and Andros already signed up.
And speaking of remaining on the cutting edge, stability, security, and access to top-tier skilled professionals, the very 3 things any investor wants to be assured of when choosing the Bahamas. Add to that, keeping up with advanced technology in a fast-paced environment. Maintaining what Economic Affairs Minister Senator the Honorable Michael Halkitis today called the country's jurisdictional success then requires everyone. And that's where the Caribbean's first and the Bahamas' only professional cabin trainer Andrea Pratt-Smith comes in. Pratt-Smith today hosted their first in-person Pro-Caban, a revolutionary project management strategy workshop in the world. The inaugural event held right here in the capital.
What it is a lean, agile principle, a concept that reduces waste. And we know that in project management, a lot of waste happens in projects running over budget and also having a lot of waste issues as far as not being adequately managed. And so Kanban visualizes the flow of that work so that we can know where there's errors in our processes and we can make those improvements more timely.
Alkeidas called Pratt-Smith's accomplishment one for which everyone can be proud. Sponsoring the workshop, Deltic Bank and Trust. The minister sees such corporate collaboration as reiterating and reinforcing the importance of project management.
Management is an area that touches on just about every aspect in the world of business and commerce. The role of project managers is a critical one as it aids in business efficacy and complements the government's efforts to promote the ease of doing business in the Bahamas. And this ultimately supports our jurisdiction by showcasing to the world that not only is the Bahamas open for business, but we are also well equipped with the infrastructure and a pool of talented professionals who are well trained, poised, and positioned to ensure an optimal business experience.
In other news this evening, while President of the Bahamas Hotel Catering and Allied Workers Union, Darren Woods, is thanking the government for the exemption from paying real property tax, he wants more.
We want that agency so badly. Mr. Douglas, we believe that in its present form, the law says that the union has to do this for someone who doesn't contribute to it, right? Notwithstanding the fact that they know that they're not a part, the benefits are there for the members who engage the union, but by virtue of them standing side by side, they get the same thing. If they ain't gonna pay, if you ain't gonna make an avenue for them to pay, then tell me what I get for my members is for my members only, all right? Or when we get the recognition my members say they want us, whatever part and parcel comes along with, if it's recognition, agency shop, all them, let all that be a package deal.
And there's more. In addition to support of a livable wage, Woods wants the issue of redundancy to be revisited.
Of course, we want to see amendments to the Employment Act by way of redundancy payment, where the persons who would have put in excess of 12 years, because we have people who worked in this industry from they came out of school and when they come out there, 50, 60, 65, they retire. And when they retire, they would have given all to this industry. And we believe by way of that, and sometimes they are called on to be made redundant. We just went through a redundancy exercise as a result of COVID. And, you know, it was hard to see what some of those persons take home at the end of the day. And we believe that there should be some agitation for a change or an amendment to the law in that regard.
A local medical supply company seeing an uptick in customers buying equipment to protect themselves from COVID-19. This as local officials report a slight uptick in positive COVID-19 cases, with a man on Grand Bahama dying from the illness. However, Prime Minister the Honorable Philip Davis has assured there will not be a return to COVID lockdowns at this time. Instead, he advised residents to take the necessary health precautions to avoid contracting the virus.
For the past, I would say maybe 2 weeks or so, we've noticed an uptick in our PPE sales. With our over-the-counter customers, we see people purchasing the COVID test so that they can check at home, more masks so that they can protect themselves daily, travel size sanitizers. And with our larger companies, they're ordering the masks in bulk. They are starting to refill their dispensers that they may not have been paying attention as much to over the past year or so. So this past 2 weeks has been really busy for us with those. We do have sufficient supplies on hand. The PPE items are something that we keep readily available, but we have increased our ordering with our vendors just to make sure that we can meet the new increase in demand.
Former parliamentarian Dr. Elwood Donaldson has died. He was 86. Donaldson, a PLP House member from 1967 to 1972, went on to become one of the Dissident Eight, that core group that formed the Free National Movement. In fact, he served as first chairman of the party, going on to serve as the country's non-resident ambassador to UNESCO. Among those paying tribute to him was F&M leader Michael Pintard, who called Donaldson a fearless soul who shared his views boldly regardless of party. Meantime, former F&M leader and Killarney MP Dr. Hubert Minnis credited Donaldson with making various political and professional contributions to the Bahamas. In a statement from Uganda this evening, Prime Minister Davis noted that the Bahamas has not just lost a seasoned politician, but a visionary leader and a cherished mentor to many. His loss, he says, marks the end of an era, adding that may we all find solace in celebrating Donaldson's extraordinary life and contributions. Donaldson's death now leaves only Sir Arthur Folkes and Maurice Moore as the only surviving members of the 1967 House of Assembly.
In the yellow elder garden, Ali and her cousins listened to Grammy share tales. The 70s so sweet, with themed costumes and dancing feet. Then came the brass, reaching new heights, a symphony of Bahamian nights. The 2000s, the yellow elder, a symbol of pride. Grammy's legacy in view as Ali dances in her yellow elder costume. We are alive.
Trouble, it might drag you down. If you get lost, you can always be found. Just know you're not alone. 'Cause I'm gonna make this place your home.
Introducing the Focal Smart Pass app that helps you to fuel up faster. Here's how it works. Download the app on the App Store or get it on Google Play and create your profile with payment details. Visit your nearest Shell station, open the app, scan the pump's QR code, select your payment amount, and begin fueling. Say goodbye to cash and cards because the Focal Smart Pass offers secure and convenient payment options right at your fingertips. Download Focal Smart Pass now and fuel up faster today.
The Southeast Conference of Grand Masters spending the next few days in the capital with the goal of outlining its continued development across the United States and the Caribbean. Our Lloyd Allen joins us live tonight from Breezes Hotel with more on this conference that has brought nearly 200 participants to the country. Good evening, Lloyd.
Well, of course, good evening, Makushla, and good evening, Bahamas. Right now, we're at the Breezes Hotel, where in just a few moments, the official start of a two-day conference from the Southeastern Grand Masters Matrons and Patrons Organization is unfolding right here in the Bahamas. Standing here with me is President Mr. Lucas. And, of course, Mr. Lucas, tell us about what this two-day initiative, bringing in so many persons from around the world, what does this mean for your organization?
This is an opportunity. The Southeast region is made up of Tennessee, Mississippi, Alabama, Florida, Bahamas, and the Caribbean. And we are one of 7 regions in the Grand Masters Conference. And we get together and plan what we're going to take to the Grand Masters Conference this coming May. So we have 2 days to plan for that, basically.
And, of course, standing here with us is the representative from the Ministry of Tourism, Mr. Stephen Johnson. Stephen, obviously a large number of persons coming in from around the world. What does this mean with conferences like this?
Oh, this is significant. And, you know, this is all about putting heads in beds. This is the Prince Hall, Masonic, the Grand Masters and the Grand Patrons. And my job as the leader for the fraternal markets for the Bahamas is to go after these kinds of organizations, also the Greek fraternities and sororities, to bring them to the Bahamas. And so we're really appreciative of this business here at Super Club Breezes in Nassau.
Well, of course, Makusha, this group will be here for the next 2 days. Of course, a number of initiatives planned introducing these persons to many parts of the Bahamas, but also charting the way forward for their organizations. ZNS News will be, of course, here tonight for the duration of this event. More details to come, of course, right here on the Bahamas Tonight. Reporting here from the Breezes Resort for the Bahamas Tonight, I'm Lloyd Allen. Makushla, back to you in studio.
Well, thanks, Lloyd. Officers from the Centerville Urban Renewal Center reaching out to the community in a big way Friday. Their Fabulous Friday Free Breakfast Initiative offers a hot meal to students and area residents. Officer in charge, ASP Dwayne Mackey, says that's not the only initiative.
Being the first day, it's not going to be the last. Just to let you know, it's an ongoing event. Every Friday, you can come on down, start your weekend off right with something nice and warm. There are plans in place to extend it to Mondays and Wednesdays as well. We're doing all that we can, starting out very small, but trying to make a great impact in the neighboring community. We're extending it over to the Plantal Street area, Masons Addition area, over in the Valley in Centerville, as well as northward onward to Taylor Street. We're asking that all persons in the community come out, join us. Feel free. The breakfast is good. Job applications here available as well. In addition to that, we have a clothing drive that's going on. A cleanup campaign is well on its way. We're starting today with the Milton Street area as well as the Peter Street area.
Charlene Sweeting, a teacher at the Marjorie Davis Institute for Special Education, applauds the initiative.
We have a lot of kids that are in this area, and most of them, when they come to school, they don't come to school with breakfast. So we try our best at the school to provide breakfast for them. But we are a small institution, so therefore it's kind of difficult for us to have funds to provide food. But I am most appreciative for this happening here, and the kids, I know they are happy because now we don't only have their mental attention, but we have their physical attention as well.
From responding to the needs of disaster victims to giving care and comfort to the needy, the work of 17 volunteers who assist the Bahamas Red Cross Society annually were recognized last evening during a ceremony at Government House. Governor General, Her Excellency Cynthia Pratt, awarding 12 individuals and 5 businesses with appreciation plaques for their work.
It's a tremendous feeling, realizing that you didn't do it to receive anything, but it's good to be recognized by the Bahamas Red Cross Society. I didn't even think that I was doing anything to be honored. It was just giving of myself, my time, and be happy to help wherever I could.
Well, time now for the poll question of the week. And this week we're asking, do you agree with the Prime Minister that the judiciary should have an aggressive approach to denying bail? You can chime in on our social media handles.
In case you missed the news or want to stay ahead, subscribe to our YouTube channel or follow us on X, TikTok, Instagram, or Facebook.
A decade ago, the Bahamas Striping Group of companies was birthed out of a passion to change the way we travel. From only a $5,000 grant, the tenacity and work ethic has propelled BSGC to one of the leading road management companies in the Caribbean. We pride ourselves on going the extra mile where others won't, through the use of our state-of-the-art equipment and our certified team. Although the success is commendable, the road has been long. Yet, the mission continues in striving to be a world-class organization ran by Bahamians for Bahamians. With the help of our experienced and hardworking team, we at the Bahamas Striping Group of companies are committed to making a difference, one road at a time.
Join up for life insurance. Secure the ones that you love. Join up with Family Guardian. We offer full protection. Join the family. Join the family. Family Guardian. Protect the ones you love. A brand that you can trust. Family Guardian.
Someone's out of a stash of drugs, and if Abaco police have their way, the owner will soon be found. Acting on reports, officers from the Wash Harbor Police Station found and confiscated 2.24 kilos with an estimated street value of some $20,000. And that kilos of drugs accounts to cocaine, is attributed to cocaine. No arrests were made in connection with the discovery. Investigations continue. Well, some months after its groundbreaking, the health minister is giving an update on plans to construct a new state-of-the-art hospital in Grand Bahama and the challenges thus far. Jolanda Thompson-Everest has the story.
The Minister of Health and Wellness, Dr. Michael Darville, is pleased to report that the new state-of-the-art hospital is moving on schedule. He reveals that there were some changes made regarding the materials used for the project, and in the upcoming months, they have plans to bring on additional workers to assist with manpower shortage.
The project was first coated steel, and it was changed to reinforced concrete, which we felt was better. That required some additional drawings. We did run into a small problem at the site that when we started to excavate for the foundation, we found some soft spots. So those areas had to be looked at by our structural engineers. That's complete. But if you were able to go to the site now, you'll see that the footings for the structure is already in place. And very soon, with the grace of God, we'll begin to see our vertical construction after the foundation is laid.
Darville noting that he is satisfied with the progression of the project and announces plans to working closely with the structural engineers to ensure a smooth, successful build-out.
We are now in the final architectural renderings for the multi-story facility, which is phase 2. And once that's complete, I will inform the residents of Grand Bahama with that construction. And for us, that's very important because, as you can see, we have outgrown this facility. I want to commend our staff because I think they're doing a great job despite the challenges that they face. We have manpower shortages, which is global. And so our ministry is addressing it short-term, medium, and long-term.
The health minister encourages that very soon, teams will begin to move throughout the Family Islands, conducting preventative maintenance to ensure product longevity of all medical equipment.
For us to be able to provide services, we have clinical services, but we also have diagnostics. And diagnostics come with medical equipment that need to be maintained, need to be replaced, and need to be modified. And so with a biomedical engineering team, our job is to do preventative maintenance, as well as make recommendation of additional medical equipment essential to provide services.
For the Bahamas Tonight, I'm Jolanda Thompson-Everest.
Well, the president and members of the Bahamas Educators Managerial Union paying a courtesy call on the Ministry of Education today to discuss issues and concerns. Among them, promotion. The union is the primary industrial negotiator for administrators, principals, vice principals, senior persons, and education officers. Our Shane Stubbs filed this report.
Mandate to meet face-to-face with its members, and it figures to be a busy weekend, according to President Stephen McPhee.
And just to also take opportunity to share with members updates, offer training and assistance best we can, where we can, and conduct the business of the union.
One of those updates McPhee spoke to is in regards to outstanding promotions, which has been an ongoing issue. However, McPhee says they are working closely with the employer to resolve that matter.
We have found that we're at a point now where there are a few outstanding, and we're hopeful. As a matter of fact, we have a meeting today with the director and team where we will be provided some updates on some of the matters we would have laid on the table.
Area Vice President Danica Martin underscoring why the lack of promotions has become strenuous on educators and administrators.
You know, we really need this this exercise from the public service to, really, get on stream so that we can actually fill the voids that are in our schools, so that our administrators who are in those schools will not be overworked the way that they are.
And while giving credit to education officials currently on the island, McPhee was happy to see the negotiation of having a deputy director named in Grand Bahama, a post last held by the late Sandra Edgecombe, and now held by Michelle Boleg. And now with the new acting deputy director in place, McPhee looks forward to working with her.
Some of the concerns that we have, but more importantly, collaborating on areas of progress.
Our acting deputy director for education, Michelle Boleg, says working with BEMU is just like any partnership, and she feels that this week's meeting could be the catalyst to resolving those ongoing issues.
We can only achieve that by working together. And so it's a pleasure having him and his team visit Grand Bahama. We have a dynamic team in Grand Bahama even before I came. And so I'm glad to just be added to my team.
The slate of meetings are expected to conclude on Sunday. For the Bahamas Tonight, I'm Shane Stubbs.
Well, it's time now for a check on Family Island weather, and for that we turn to Chief Meteorologist Basil Dean. Good evening, Basil.
Good evening, Makishla. We have partly cloudy skies, temperature at 75 degrees, the relative humidity 84%, the winds out of the west-northwest at 3 miles per hour, the barometric pressure 1,016.0 millibars, that is 30.01 inches. And your temperatures around the Family Islands this evening, they are brought to you by Family Guardian Insurance Company. We're protecting you. 71 degrees in Freeport, Grand Bahama, Green Tool, Key, and Marshall, Abaco, the Berry Islands at 76. Allenstown, Bimini, 74 degrees, 78 in Harbour Island. Rockstown, Eleuthera, 75, 78 in Fresh Creek, Central Andros, Kemps, Bayside Andros, Black Point, Exuma, both reporting 79 degrees at Alderstown, Cat Island, San Salvador, and Rumkey, the Mercury column just around 76, 78 in Georgetown, Exuma, Ragged Island, Crown, San Long Island, and Crooked Island. Betsy Bay, Megawan is 79, Acton 79, also Matthew Tiny Nagua at 79 degrees, and the Turks and Caicos Island at 80 degrees. And your boating forecast tonight is brought to you by Builders Mall, home of FYP, the Tile King, and the Paint Setter. In the northwestern islands tonight, northwest to north wind, so speeds about 12 to 18 knots. Wave heights 3 to 6 feet. Now the low tide, that will take place at 8:43 tonight. For the central and southeastern islands, you can expect a southeast flow at 10 to 15 knots. The wave heights 2 to 4 feet over the ocean. Tomorrow, which is Saturday, we will see that frontal system go through. Winds becoming northerly, 12 to 18 knots. Wave heights holding at 3 to 6 feet. So caution flags will be in place for the northwest Bahamas tomorrow morning. Now the low tide tomorrow takes place at 9:49 in the morning, with the high tide at 3:31 in the afternoon. For the central and southeastern islands, a northeast component at 10 to 15 knots, and the wave heights 2 to 4 feet. Then on Sunday, we will see a significant increase in those winds becoming north to northeast. This is for the northwestern islands, 15 to 20 knots, very rough seas at 4 to 7 feet, so that caution flags will stay in place. Low tide on Sunday, 10:52 in the morning, with the high tide at 4:33 in the afternoon. Now for the central and southeastern islands, north to northeast winds, 15 to 25 knots. So we'll be gusting up to 35 knots at times. Very, very rough sea conditions at 5 to 8 feet over the ocean. So we have an advisory in place for boaters in the central and southeastern islands on Sunday. That's going to do it for your boating forecast. It's time now for your international temperatures, and they are brought to you by Royal Star Assurance.
Blessed shown by the stars above, what goes up must come down. Here's a man that is born of a woman, has about a short time to live. All agreeable, needed barely know, yeah. That's the sailor man's son. All agreeable, needed barely know, yeah.
That's going to do it for your international temperatures, brought to you by Royal Star Assurance. But stay tuned, your extended weather forecast is still ahead.
Want to have your voice heard? Send your letters to the editor to digitalmedia@znsbahamas.com. Share your thoughts on current events or positive stories within your community. That's digitalmedia@znsbahamas.com. We want to hear from you.
Resolve to save with the specials at Super Value and Quality Supermarkets. Chef Boyardee spaghetti and meatballs, 15 ounce, $169. So cheesy macaroni and cheese, 7 1/4 ounce, 2 for $149. First choice sugar, 4 pounds, $269. Danish spare ribs, $2.89 per pound. Fresh carrots, 2-pound buy, $2.99. Another year to save at Super Value and Quality Supermarkets.
Health is the greatest gift. That's where we come in. Bahamas Medical and Surgical Supplies is a premier distributor of medical equipment, as well as medical and surgical consumables. Our engineers are always on hand, providing top care service that saves lives. We carry a wide selection of over-the-counter and prescription items, IV fluids, and other injections. Our products are state-of-the-art, and our entire team stays on top of cutting-edge technology. With more than 2 decades of dedicated service, Bahamas Medical and Surgical Supplies continues continues to be a trendsetter, an innovator in healthcare. We have set ourselves apart by truly caring for our customers. We understand the intricacies of healthcare, and we produce spectacular results. We cherish our partnerships and nurture our friendships as we continue on our quest to help everyone maintain that wonderful gift of good health. Find us on 95th Terrace, Centerville, and now located in the Lucaya Shopping Center of Freeport, Grand Bahama.
This is ZNS Total Sports.
Welcome to your ZNS Total Sports Check, everybody. I'm Marcellus Hall. We're getting you started. Buddy Hield and his Indiana Pacers taking the floor last night against the Sacramento Kings. Pacers 7th in the East, Kings 7th in the West. Pacers still with no Tyrese Halliburton, but they were able to get the job done anyway, holding on for the 126-121 victory in Sacramento, no less. Buddy, 36 minutes on the floor, finished up with 12 points and 8 assists to help lead his team to the win. Pacers right back in action this evening. They played DeAndre Ayton and the Portland Trail Blazers. Well, the New Providence Basketball Association with games on the agenda for this evening. That's going to be at the Kendall Isis Gym starting at 7 p.m. with your Essential Store team squaring off against BIBT Great Whites. Meanwhile, in Division 1, UB Mingos taking the floor against the Zulu Media and Symphony team at 8. That'll be followed by another Division 1 game. That's right, triple-headed this evening. Carroll Contractors Shockers going up against the Commonwealth Bank Giants at 9. And track and field action returning this weekend as the DTSP Wolfpack hosting the Beverly Wallace Whitfield Track and Field Classic. This is going to take place at the Thomas A. Robinson Stadium. The meet running from 9 a.m. tomorrow morning until 6 in the evening and will feature runners from the various track clubs around New Providence. Wolfpack Track Club coach Larry Clark talked about his team being ready and the action expected to be intense.
We say thank you much to all of the sponsors, hardworking parents, and certainly volunteers. So we're offering events from under 7 to under 20. Also, there will be an open category for those athletes who would like to compete but are no longer eligible for CARIFTA. So there's a place where they're able to compete. It's very challenging because what most people see is the gathering of persons in the stadium, but it's all that work that's being done in the background. And I say thank you to an amazing Parents Association, an awesome executive team who are actually working in the background to ensure that we're able to pull this off and bring a quality event to you.
And that's it. You look at sports for you here on this Friday. Don't forget, we got your Friday weather forecast. That is just ahead.
This is ZNS Total Sports.
Join us for the rebroadcast of the 2024 New Year's Day Jumping Parade on Saturday, January 20th at 7:30 p.m. only on the ZNS Network.
We are here in the time of need. There's no discrimination. The mission is to relieve the suffering. We volunteer, we deliver care. With donors and partners, we're always here to turn compassion into action. Protecting life and health with our training throughout the years. We empower to heal the world. There is hope, assistance with disasters. There is shelter and love for our people. We can work together to help those in need. So volunteer with us and donate to show you care. There is hope, assistance with disasters. There is shelter and love for our people. We can work together to help those in need. country. Together, let's build a more resilient Bahama.
This message brought to you by the Bahamas Red Cross Society in conjunction with the Broadcasting Corporation of the Bahamas.
The ZNS Network and the Ministry of Youth, Sports and Culture presents the Anthony Huck Williams 2024 Junior Junk Canoe Parade. Live from Pioneers Way on January 27th, beginning at 4:30 p.m. on the ZNS Network.
Time now for weather.
In our final look at weather, we start off with a satellite discussion, and we have quite a bit of high clouds floating across the northwest of Bahamas ahead of that front system, which is heading our way. We expect that front to go through during the late night, early morning hours. It could bring with it 1 or 2 sprinkles, but most of the heavy precipitation will remain over the open waters to the north and east of the Bahamas. Tonight, we are looking at a deeper Arctic air sinking into the southern portion of the United States, and it has expanded pretty much across the entire continent, and that's going to generate some very, very cold temperatures over the next several days. And here in the capital, we'll get some modified air, but it will be pretty chilly over the weekend. Now, mostly cloudy conditions tonight with a couple of showers developing late as that front boundary makes its way into the northwest Bahamas. Low temperature tonight, just around 71 degrees, and tomorrow we will see cloudy conditions once again with occasional rains, and there could be a thunderstorm in spots only during the morning hours. As we head into the afternoon, it becomes a bit windy with a high temperature of 76 degrees. And the extended weather forecast, the cloudiness will remain with us because that front will stall just to the south of us before making that final push on Monday towards the south and east. That is when we'll see the skies clearing on Tuesday. We'll have lots of sunshine returning to the forecast, but over the weekend, it's going to be somewhat on the gray side, but temperature-wise, going to be very, very chilly and, of course, very, very breezy, so we're asking boaters to exercise extreme caution. Makishla.
Well, thanks, Basil. R.M. Bailey Senior High School's Elevation Pop Band made fans of the audience. Acting Prime Minister the Honorable Chester Cooper and Royal Caribbean's International's President and CEO Michael Bailey on Thursday. The duo heaped praise upon the group for an outstanding rendition of the national anthem and their follow-up medley of Bahamian music on board the Icon of the Seas. Band member Theodosia Smith and lead singer Chauncey Wright reflected on both the performance and the sense of community they find amongst their peers.
I just joined September of last year when we had our club fair, and since then I didn't know how good it was until, you have to be in something to understand the vibe, the community, and the hood of something, and I didn't know they were going to embrace me so well. So being a part of this club, this family, it's been amazing. Words can't express the happiness that it brings to me.
Really, I just wanted to put my mind and say, you know what? You're about to perform, get your head in the game, execute it to the best of your ability, and just overall have fun. And that's exactly what we did, We practice a lot, we put in a lot of work in what we do, and sometimes we might have our ups and downs, but in overall, we are great together and we put out great work.
The students' standout performance was not without hard work and practice. The group's director, Brene Clark, says the students' performance reflected both preparation and passion.
I must say that this is a beautiful way to start the new year. They did exceptionally well. They executed, as usual, that they always do. Something that Chauncey said, that I always encourage them to put their best foot forward, because you never know who's in the audience that can give you your next opportunity. So I'm very proud of the work that they did today, the performance that they put on.
Well, and that does it for the Bahamas Tonight. Thank you for continuing to make ZNS your first choice for news and information. Only the sun covers the Bahamas better than ZNS. From all of us here at ZNS, thank you for watching and good night.
Prestigious Elevation Pop Band from R.M. Bailey Senior High School.
You're watching the ZNS Network, the People's Station.